What do you think can humanity do right now to sort of help them with this awakening that's happening right around the world?
Yeah, absolutely. In education, knowledge is true wealth, and I guess true knowledge is to know the extent of your ignorance. And once you understand how little you know, you actually realise that you need to start learning a lot more about life, and that's you become, the joy of discovery. You start learning and understanding, and the saying about having to empty the cup before you can fill it. You have to empty your mind and understand that a lot of the thoughts and conditioning and understandings and your education has been given to you by an established system, and then you realise how little you actually know. Then you need to start researching things that do make sense to you, and keeping your mind open, not discounting things until if it doesn't quite fit with your current understanding, you just put it on the shelf and you might come back to it later, or may not come back to it. But it's just being open and aware to these different opportunities and knowledge out there. So yeah, the most important thing I think is knowledge. Educate yourself. Read alternative media, read independent media. The mainstream media that is given to you on TV under the social programming, people absorb and sit there and effectively switch off, and you can see how much they drive and relate and will try and associate with sex or fear or not having something in order to make you feel inadequate. Once you switch all those kind of types of media off, you actually start feeling a lot better. And I haven't watched TV for about 2 or 3 years now, and I choose what I want to actually absorb of the information I take on, and self-educate myself. So definitely kind of not using those. The mainstream media has some certain aspects which create general knowledge or general discussions, but a lot of it you can see when you look at it critically, it has been slanted to a certain agenda.
Okay, cool. We're just about to wrap up here, Oneness, and I just wanted to talk about the elections and voting this coming weekend. A lot of people are going to be voting, and a lot of people aren't going to be voting. I myself, I'm not going to be voting, and I'll make it very clear why, because I feel that we have no real choice in the system. You're basically voting for someone who has similar agendas to someone else. So they all have very similar agendas, and it doesn't matter who you vote for. They keep perpetuating the system itself, and without people realizing that people are contributing to the problem rather than the solution by helping perpetuate the system. The analogy I use, it's like the Titanic, and you've got one party on the Titanic who are rearranging the deck chairs, you've got another party on the Titanic who are washing the windows, and basically altogether the whole Titanic's going to crumble and sink. So there's no point in voting, and that's why I don't want to vote. Now, I've got some comments here from people on Facebook on the You Be the Judge show. They aren't voting as well. And I've got one here from Simon. He says voting for representation when the courts are failing to hold them accountable and when Parliament refuses to listen to referendums is the same as gambling with the dealer using a stacked deck. Another one here from Poppy. It's like playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun. And a last one here from Chips. He said some people really flip their lid at me when I tell them I'm not enrolled, but then I explain how if I vote I consent, and I also ask them why would I participate with a fraudulent, evil, blood-sucking pirate offshore for-profit organisation and corporation. Are you going to be voting on this?
Very good question. No, I won't be. I won't be supporting a corrupt system. The political democracy system, to me, is fundamentally broken. So I don't want to consent to actually it continuing. I think people are disillusioned with the political system, and if you don't like what's going on, then all very well ticking a box and once every 4 years and thinking you've done your bit, but really you haven't. You've got to contribute to society and make sure that the government should really only be in charge of human necessities, whether it be water, communications, roading. It shouldn't be in charge of many of the other things that it's actually currently got under its remit. And I guess from that everyone needs to contribute in themselves. So as well as ticking the box once every 4 years, you should actually be out every day or as often as you can, instead of relying on it to support people in the community or have a dole to support the unemployed. Start a soup kitchen or collect people or go around houses and I guess contribute that way and get more of a community spirit down rather than leaving it to everyone else. You've got to become the change you want to see in the world. So to me, I guess the political system at the moment is like it's like on a train on a railway tracks, and every 3 or 4 years the train, I guess, is going in a direction quite quickly. It's on track, and it's basically every 3 or 4 years we decide to change who's driving it. But the train's still going in the same direction, and this is, I guess, if you can see the direction it's heading, it's heading for the cliff, as I see it. So I prefer to stop giving my energy to the train, not chucking coal on the fire, and let it kind of come to a grinding halt, and then everyone can kind of stop and rearrange the tracks, or maybe put some wheels on it and go driving wherever you want to. So that's how I view the political system. Now, as I said earlier, it's just a case of educating yourself, being open-minded to things, not judging others on their appearance, and maybe just understanding that we can learn from everyone. An exciting point in time, I think, where we're starting to reawaken, and it's important that everyone kind of contributes now and gets on board. And but I guess the important thing is knowing what to support, and through a collective consciousness and changing the value system, we're going to that'll manifest in our external reality as well. If what we think about, we become, and that's what we need to be very, very conscious of what we think about.
Thank you very much for your time tonight there, Oneness.
Absolute pleasure. Always happy to come on, Woody, and hope everyone took a little something away, and I feel that I'm helping and contributing, and that's great.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Don't forget, people, to check out our Facebook page by heading over to Facebook and searching for You Be the Judge Radio Show. Also on YouTube, Rainbow Project Media as well. Okay, that's another edition of You Be the Judge Radio Show. We'll leave it in your hands, people, and you be the judge. Thank you.
And why I get very excited about this is there's an understanding in the new world of physics, and it's called emergence. And emergence means this, that you can bring a bunch of individuals together, and when you reach a certain critical mass, something new will happen, and yet no one has an idea from studying the individual pieces that are coming together what that new thing will be. Emergence says that parts come together and create something that we haven't even imagined what that could be. So as the people are coming out in the street claiming that we need to do something and yet not knowing what it is, we're opening the doorway for emergence. Something will emerge from this, and it's going to happen very soon. And what we really have to recognize is that the primary thing is to return power back to the people. Take it out of the hands of the money interests, the very small percentage that is through the corporate structure as we have it now, undermining our world. Now, just to point out very clearly, this does not mean all corporations. What's really wonderful is at this time of change, there are new socially conscious corporations manifesting. Corporations that see that it's not just the profit motive that we're looking for, it's the concept of living in harmony and balance in a world that is sustainable. So I would like to separate those new socially conscious corporations out of the picture of the corporate greed that has led us to this level of almost extinction. So what we're going to see is a radical change in the world. And in fact, it may be so radical I might have to provide a supplemental newsletter before November ends, because changes are imminent, changes are fast, and yet I can't tell you what the changes are going to be. Nobody can, because the concept of emergence says nobody will know what's going to ultimately result from all this, but movement is assured. We are going to move from the current place we are into another place. Hopefully a place where life is valued, the environment is valued, people are valued, and at this point we will offer a world a new foundation, a new institution of life, a new way to live on this planet where all of us can live in harmony and support the environment. And this is our biggest kind of message, motivation that's facing us at this time where the biological imperative is yelling, something is wrong, let's fix it. So what's it going to be? I don't know. Let's just keep our eyes open. Let's keep our hearts open. Let's keep our minds open and look for the resolutions that are right out there in front of us and yet are not visible at this moment. And this is again why I get so excited about the concepts in the book Spontaneous Evolution that I co-wrote with my friend Steve Behrman. Because it says, from the old mystical understanding, the answers lie within. And in this particular case, spontaneous evolution offers insights of how 6 or 7 billion people in this world could learn to live in harmony and support each other by using the same pattern of understanding by which 50 trillion cells come together as free living individuals and yet come together in a community and create what is called the human body. Very interesting point. That is the example of emergence. Think about it. If you were an amoeba, the concept of going to the moon would be not a concept. It would be unfathomable to even think about that. But if you put 50 trillion amoebas together, not only can the concept of going to the moon become an idea, but with 50 trillion cells working together to create a human being, and human beings coming together and work in harmony, the emergence of not only the idea of going to the moon, but the reality of getting there manifested. Did the amoeba know that this was going to happen? No. But 50 trillion amoebas that did. Why this is relevant to us right now is that we have 7 billion people on this planet that are beginning to realize that it is their cooperative effort. They're coming together. They're creating a new civilization that will offer us a sustainable future. And in that sustainable future, things will emerge that we have no idea about right now. But I see it as a great, glorious opportunity for human civilization. So in the month of November, perhaps we can all think about our brethren that are out there and also helping us make a statement to the world that it's time for change. It's time for us to come back as people and eliminate the corporate control that has just diminished us to slaves and unhealthy ones at that. Take a chance now. Consider a new future. Don't get caught up in the world that's coming down. Start to consider what is the world we can build that is in front of us right now. As the book Spontaneous Evolution describes the story of a Cherokee elder, and that elder was talking to his grandchildren, and he said, "Children, there are 2 wolves fighting inside of me, and it's a terrible fight, and I don't know which of the wolves is going to win." And the children said, "Grandpa, what are these wolves?" And the grandfather said, "One is the wolf of love and peace. The other is the wolf of anger and war." And the children are saying, "But Grandpa, which one of these wolves is going to win?" And the grandfather said, "Whichever one I feed." And why I bring that up is we're facing a world coming down, and we're facing a world being built up. It's really important for us to step out of the world that is crumbling and step into the new world and offer the vision, the opportunity, the tools, and the consciousness that can take us from this unsustainable place we are now into a future that is just filled with miracles and beauty and harmony of living here in this Garden of Eden, this planet Earth, this place that is actually heaven, because this is where we can create that heaven on earth, and that's for us. So I really want to thank all of you for being out there. Your participation in this evolution is so important, and I would just like you to encourage you to move forward. Don't look behind, because we're moving on to far better things than we can even imagine right now. So, until I talk to you next time, stay well, stay healthy, think wonderful thoughts, because it's our vision that's going to create the beauty that lies before us. Thank you for listening to this newsletter, and I hope you come back again.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
You're locked in to the You Be the Judge radio show with your host, Rainbow Whitty, exploring alternative news and exotic topics.
For more episodes of this Community Access radio show, visit www.communityradio.co.nz.
Thanks to New Zealand On Air for making this program available through funding the Access Internet Radio project. Cheers, New Zealand On Air.